For this week's Fallout Friday video, we're going to go ahead and do another of the Railroad Operatives, this time the companion Deacon. It's a pretty simple model, a lot of skin tones, his exposed arms and head. I went with the bald-headed option as opposed to the pompadour one. He's got his bolt-action rifle, shirt, pants, and shoes, and that's about it. So I think the most complex and difficult part is going to be doing the sunglasses. So to kick off, we're going to start as we usually do with the skin. And I am continuing to try and use, well, not try and use, but to use the Army Painter Speed Paints. So we're going to go with a single coat of Crusader skin. Alright, with the skin tone in, our next piece is going to be the pants. Now, based on what I'm seeing, these aren't jeans, so I'm not going to do the blue jeans thing. Instead, we're going to go with sand golem, so we're going for a bit of a khaki appearance. So we're just going to do that real quick. Just have to be careful with these speed paints to control the flow. Alright, while that dries, we're going to go ahead and add the wood stock on the gun and the bit of wood that's on the base. So I'm just taking my dark wood here. Now, for the shirt, most commonly he's portrayed with just a white shirt. That's going to be too much. So what I'm going to try and do is do it more of a blue. Just more what they showed in the actual paint up of this model. I just want it to have a bit of color. Oh, and before I do the rest, I'm going to take this same blue before I dilute it and just hit the lens real quick on the rifle. Now I'm gonna tone this down a bit. In fact, that's too much color, so I'm just going to siphon some of it out. There we go. We're just going to use some medium to kind of wash it down. Let's see how this does. With contrast paints, this will generally mute the color a little bit, which is what I want to go for. I don't want the shirt to be a super deep blue, so we'll see how this comes out. Okay, that did pretty much what I wanted it to. Definitely more of a washed out, allows more of the base coat to come through. You can definitely see there the difference between the base color on the lens and the color that wound up on the shirt. So, looking good there. Now, for the shoes, we're going to go ahead and go with hardened leather. And now for the gunmetal parts, I'm going to go with our gray. Now, before we do the rest of his glasses, I'm going to first put some metallic on the lenses. Any black I get onto that should still show the sheen through it. In fact, we're just going to do gray, since we already have that out. For the wrappings, we're going to go with a gray. Well, for white, which will come out more gray. Okay. So now all we really have to do is the base. So we're going to actually take our still out towel light ochre and hit some of the dirt patches here first. Now, for the rest of the base, for the stones, we're going to be using our Bootstrap leather, since it has this is from P3, and it has a bit of a reddish tinge to it. Alright, now we're just going to pick out the rocks real quick, and the base will be done. Alright, so we're just going to wait for everything to dry now. Then give it a bit of Agrax Earthshade on the base to tie everything together and bring out the details on the dirt. And then we'll be ready for ringing and sealing. Alright, as we can see, we've got Deacon all done. I did find that the colors are a little bright, so I don't think I'll continue using speed paint for my Fallout stuff. I find the darker hues of the contrast paints to be a little more in line with Fallout. But I think the speed paints will be perfect for doing my Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. Very bright and comic booky. One thing I was thinking here is that, you know, it's very plain, unadorned, and the bright blue of the shirt made me think, well, that's close to like a Hawaiian shirt hue. So I've started making palm trees on the shirt to turn it into a Hawaiian shirt. So it'll be very spy a la Bruce Campbell in Burn Notice. Now to do these is very easy. I'm actually using a 005 micron black pen. So all I'm doing is taking a spot, doing a little curve for the trunk, and then just 4 outstretched branches, and that's it. From a distance it'll be fine. And these are great for applying a bit of shading, so if I wanted to come in here and say put a little line highlight along the bottom, easily done with the pen. And that just gives a little, it's very similar to what I use for inking on the Marvel Crisis Protocol. But yeah, so I'm going to do that and then seal him, but he is done at this point. So Monday we should have the final part of Moon Knight. He's coming along quite nicely. I just have to finish up his base. And then next week we'll be back with another Gunner's model. Unfortunately, I lost the first version of this video that was supposed to go up last week, so I had to completely redo it. So that was why we had no video last week. But hopefully I won't lose power in the middle of processing again. So we will get back on track, and I hope everyone enjoyed the video.